Hello, good morning. How is everyone? How are you doing? I hope everything is okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for keeping with us here at my channel. This is Kalibala Michael. Please like my channel, follow, hit the notification button so that you'll be the one to be notified when I upload in the next video. Yeah, today I'm coming up. I need to give you an update about the Kenyan elections with all the opinion polls that are going around. When it comes to opinion polls, they are just estimations. Some of them are meant to change the perspective of the voters. So in most cases, I don't look at them, because now if you see now they are telling us, those one from Infotrack, they are telling us that Laila is leading by 42%. Ruto is at 38%, but they don't go down to tell us the numbers in each county or in each region. So I don't believe in such, because it was opinion polls that led to the fall of Hillary Clinton in America in 2016. So I don't wanna believe in opinion polls. I believe in the ground. Because you see the way they are trying so much to change the perspective and the image and the political cloud. They are trying to build a political cloud for Martha Karua, that she's changing everything. But I actually don't know how that is happening, because William Ruto is still controlling the Mount Kenya. So I don't understand where they get that from. But that's okay. That's their perspective and how they see things. We don't actually even know the type of questions they were asking, who set the questions. So we don't understand all that. But now, as we talk today, there are four main contenders for the presidency. Professor Wajahckoya, the guy is getting famous day by day. His ideologies, actually, I want to admit, I myself also believe in what Professor Wajahckoya, the solution is prescribing, and I wish every African country could just adopt to them. But the challenge is, he cannot win, because the type of ideology is selling, no one can allow it. Not because it's not good for the voters or the country, but even those that are controlling power, they cannot allow, because that's their business. Because like if he talks about of legalizing bank, people are trading it undercover. So, and it's more expensive if it's sold that way. So some people are getting money out of it, and they are not willing to let that business go. So I don't believe he can actually be allowed to win. Another thing he's talking about a death penalty to all corrupt. Then in Kenya, you will kill all the leaders, because all of them are corrupt. So when I hear them, this Azmio side saying Ruto is corrupt and his brigade, everyone is corrupt. They are also corrupt. Raila Odinga is one of the richest Kenyans. But where did he get the money? He has never done anything else apart from politics. Ever since he was a teenager, he was in politics. Uhuru Kenyatta is, you know, a product of corruption, betrayal, and all that. So when you see them trying to cry foul, the other guys are they're just trying to paint a picture, just because they have the prosecuting authorities in their pockets. That's why you see it's only one side that is charged, that is going to be investigated. But all that, for me as a political scholar, I know all that doesn't matter. Corruption in an election doesn't matter, because they are all corrupt. That's why that narrative doesn't sell. No one can believe them, even the electorate. The electorate can never believe them, that don't vote for that one is a thief, because they know actually who stole the Kemsa money. The public knows. So I don't think that also sells. But I want to go to a critical point. William Ruto, Professor Wajahckoya, the other one is Mwaura, Mwike Mwaura, something like that. They are four contenders. So, if all goes well, I don't see a runoff. Sorry, I don't see a runoff. The runoff could have happened if either Kalonzo Musyoka ran or Jimmy Wanjigi. There would have predicted the runoff. But now, as things stand, I don't say runoff. That means, but one critical point you have to understand, Raila Odinga is concentrating more on the presidency because I think is his last bullet to that. But the challenge is, even if he becomes president, he's not going to change anything because now the challenge is he is not his own man. That's the challenge with him. And now Uhuru Kenyatta is the chairman of Azimio la Umoja, Secretary General Afaru Tuju. He was the Secretary General of Jubilee Party of Uhuru Kenyatta. So Uhuru Kenyatta brought in Martha Karua. So I just don't understand. Actually, it was even Uhuru Kenyatta that brought in Gideon Moi and the Kalonzo Musyoka. So just imagine that time we reach after Raila Odinga winning. He doesn't control parliament. It's Uhuru Kenyatta controlling parliament because he found set up parties in almost every region. Western, he has this DAP. Central Kenya, he has some few parties there, including Jubilee. You go to Ukambani, he's controlling Kalonzo Musyoka. Kanu for Gideon Moi. So you look at, I predict a scenario where Raila Odinga will not even be able to pass a budget unless it is Uhuru Kenyatta is pleased. And I just don't know how that is going to work. Because me, I feel a betrayal just after the elections. Because what you have to understand, Ruto is not just going to give up, even if he is defeated. Because the challenge is, if Ruto loses the election, he's not going to. He'll be fought unless he's a survivor. To survive all these 4 years, they have been fighting him for over 4 years, but it seems he was prepared for the tackle. So I just don't see him survive beyond the losing the election. I don't know how that comes because all these politicians, they can actually be bought. Many of them want to be re-elected back, like those one in Central Kenya. They're not with him like they will like him so much. No, no, no. And as soon as he fails to win the presidency, I'm sure they will be bought off. They will go back. They will shift to not actually to Raila's camp. That's why Uhuru Kenyatta maintained Jubilee Party. All these people will go back to Jubilee. Akina the Kimani Kiongwas, these Moses Kuria, the Anwai Guru, they all go back. So unless he can maintain, if at all he manages to maintain, he's going to give Raila Amolo Odinga a tough time at the helm of the presidency. Because just imagine you don't have the numbers. The ODM numbers are not sufficient to make the government run as the way it's supposed to be. Uhuru Kenyatta controls some MPs, like a third of them. You control a third. William Ruto controls a third. That means for anything to pass, at least you either need Uhuru Kenyatta or William Ruto. So I predict a handshake after the elections. All else, actually, I predict a betrayal. I predict a betrayal by Raila Odinga. That's the only way it can work. But the challenge is Uhuru Kenyatta is also, he maybe has good handlers, but they did it in a vague way, controlling these parties, and they did it in a vague way because now they passed a law, just they didn't even think about it. It was a rush hour law. So I don't really understand how it is even going to work because now they are already making mistakes. Because they nominated Raila Odinga through Azimio. That means not through ODM. That means they have control, all parties have control over the same. over the same candidate. So now what will happen is not a president for ODM. That means a time can come and they decide to uproot him from power because he doesn't have the numbers. Even if they call the delegates conference and everyone brings their numbers, who's going to get the more numbers? So he can actually be thrown out of power anytime. That's where I predict for him he just likes presidency. Even if he doesn't have powers, just wants to be called president. But at what cost? Because being a president, when you cannot change anything, when you cannot actually implement what the so-called ideologies, I think for a long time, I believed the Raila was some critical guy, some sophisticated guy that knows how to play politics. But as I've grown up and I've started following these things, I've been disappointed. Have totally been disappointed because Raila Amolo Odinga has been a state project since 1990, 1982, 1990. No, I don't remember the year. When he came back after that failed coup in 82, and then he ran out of the country to Soviet Union, and then by coming back, he came back as a state project. Ever since that day, he's been playing the game of the state up to this moment. That's why I think he cannot fail to work with Uhuru Kenyatta because I wouldn't have expected something like that happen. For him, he just wants self-preservation, but I don't know who is even going to to, to, to to take on his mantle when he's gone because the guy is 87 years now. He's grown up. He's old. So now what is going to happen? Who is going to inherit the Luo Nyanza? That's why he was fighting Miguna. But now who is going to take on his constituents? No one. And they are actually following him. So I think this game of kingpins is almost coming to an end. Because when you see the Mudavadis, Wetangulas, they are losing out. And some other new people are coming on board. So what is going to happen in the next 5 years? And if William Ruto wins, he's going to delegate Akina Kalonzo Musyoka, including the Mudavadis actually. They are all going to be because now look at because Ruto is younger than almost all of them. He's younger than Kalonzo, he's younger than Mudavadi, he's younger than almost all of them. So by the mere fact that he wins, he's going to send those are 10 years down the road. So that means 10 years plus Kalonzo, he will be in 70s. Mudavadi 70s. They will no longer have power. They will no longer have the guts to run for presidency. Unless it's a miracle. So that means all of those guys are going to be gone. Remained with who? This new breed that Ruto is grooming, and he's a very, very, very tough guy. Actually, Kenya should be worried of William Ruto. He's going to totally dismantle the order. That's why you see Gideon Moi is worried because he's expecting to be the next one after Raila Odinga. Gideon Moi is the president in waiting after 2026. So if Raila Odinga fails to win, all these guys are going to go packing. Because if Ruto could just sustain himself in these 4 years without the state and he could fight his way out like this, just imagine if he has the state apparatus in his hands, in his control. what will happen to others, to these others? He's going to relegate them, and I'm sure that's why they are worried. They are scared of him because he's lethal, and his methods of doing things is totally unacceptable to them because he wants to change the order. Because when you see them crying foul that the guy is corrupt, who of those Uhuru Kenyatta promised a lifestyle audit? He didn't go on because he's also corrupt. He owns the largest land in Kenya, almost a half of Kenya, owned by Uhuru Kenyatta and his family. He's the richest man in Kenya. But when you see him complaining about someone else, that means he's complaining because of something else, not about being rich, not about that stashing money outside. He was asked about when the Pandora Papers were released. He didn't even talk about it. He promised to come back and talk about them. He just kept quiet because they are true. They have been eluding the country ever since his father's regime, Moi regime, Kibachi regime. They were rooting. So now when you hear them complaining that Kinaruto is a Nimwizi, I just don't believe politicians. But what you have to understand, this is all politics. These are the same guys. No one cares about the ordinary people. Apart from Professor Wajahckoya. Professor Wajahckoya is the only one prescribing the right medication, the right solutions. So as it stands, let's just wait for August 9th and see. It's only not actually around 1 month and some few days, 1.5 months. So we are just waiting to see what's going to happen. We are watching every move, everyone is moved. So Rigathi Gachagua is now, because now Ruto had promised a campaign like they have never seen. And actually he did, because now he split the team into two. They are traversing the country. By the time Raila Odinga, this guy is very, very energetic. And he's a good strategist actually. Because now when you see the way he's driving these guys, just waiting to see what is going to happen in the near future and who's going to be sworn in. For us, we are here to look at, us as analysts, we are here to look at things and how they are moving. But me, as a person, I support Professor Wajahckoya's ideologies. I wish one of these favorites could just adapt part of his manifesto, because I heard the guy was very, very sensible, and every idea he was bringing on board was actually making sense, because the debt is becoming a debt. So they have to find a solution, or else they are going to keep on borrowing and borrowing. They are giving in their country's resources. The resources, that means, it means more taxes. It means more suffering to the ordinary Kenyans. So, and I don't wish they would want that. Just the politicians don't care. Of course, they don't care. Now, if you look at someone telling you that I'm going to give out money, that's not a solution to the ordinary person. Giving him money for the business, yet the business environment is not conducive. All what people need is a conducive environment for business. When they are sure, if I take my money, if I am selling my chapatis, at the end of the day, I'm going to make some profits. So by increasing, giving them money and tokens, you should be actually subsidizing the product such that this and reducing the taxes they are paying, not actually giving them money as handouts, because you give them money and you take that same money using taxes. So that has never worked. That has never worked anywhere in economics. At least the little economics I studied, it doesn't work like that. So that means all these solutions they are telling you, they don't work. They're just meant to excite people to get votes, and after getting votes, something else will be done, because they don't care about the ordinary person. Politicians have never cared about us. It's all about them and their self-survival and preservation. So when you see Raila crying, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, in the back of his head, he knows, because he was prime minister for 5 years, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. But now he's pretending to be like he's going to invent something new. The guy has been here for some good time. He fought Kijana wa marriage. Actually, has fought everyone in the opposition that could, including Matiba, Wamarwa. Now he fought Miguna. He just fights anyone who he thinks is threatening the state of the order of the state, that is threatening the status quo. And I'm actually totally disappointed in that man. So, but let's wait and see if Kenyans will give him power and see what he can do with it. All else, if we fails, actually, me, I predicted in my earlier videos, I predicted the fighting or another unrest after the elections, because all of them are very, very. Because Laila believes this is his last lap, he can't miss out on this one, so he will fight tooth and nail. And now he controls the state, but now the challenge is William Ruto will not also not accept if he is defeated. He's not defeated fairly, actually, and he must believe that I was defeated. But these things of cooking the opinion polls and bringing out things, hey, we are winning, we are winning. They want him to make him believe before the elections. Let them don't underrate him. So thank you so much for watching. Please follow, like, share, comment. Yeah, we shall be giving you the best content to the best of our knowledge. So thank you for watching. See you some other time.